Hey everybody, Expat here. On the return leg of what has turned into quite an ordeal, we just emptied out our storage that we had, and well, now we have to get back over a mountain pass in quite a snowstorm. I guess it'll be quite an adventure to see if we can even get over, if it's closed or open or what the situation is up there, but this will be interesting. As you can see from the video, the snow was already falling quite heavily in the valley before we even made the attempt up through the mountains. Now we're approaching the moment of truth to see if the freeway is going to be open or not to go over the mountain pass. Hopefully it's not closed, because if it is, then it's going to be a very long drive to get home. I'm not entirely sure what I was expecting, but it is good to remember that storms typically move from west to east. Well, the freeway is not closed. We managed to get on. Now we just have to see if that was good or bad, how that's going to turn out. It's there's a lot of snow coming down, as you can see, and I think it only gets worse the higher up we go, so we'll see how this works out. It was open all right, but just because the road is open doesn't mean you should take it. It gets really cold up over the mountains, and it can be very easy to get stuck in a storm. Don't worry, I would never get stuck myself. Well, we've made it up to the Lyman Rest area in Wyoming. So far, so good. But the snow is still falling pretty heavy. And, well, the freeway looks about like this. No, it's an interesting drive. But we're pulling through. Seem to be doing all right. I haven't seen any accidents. It's not closed so far. So maybe we got out ahead of this thing enough that we're going to be able to get through this. By the way, let me just share a little bit of advice if you ever find yourself not in an echo chamber like this, and I mean literally. But if you decide you want to take a trip over a mountain pass when there's going to be snow, if you're worried at all about being caught in a snowstorm, probably just wait until the next day. Don't do what I'm doing. And if you do decide that you want to take the journey anyway, make sure that you have some certain supplies, blankets, water, that sort of thing. And if you do get into it and you find it's a little bit more than you bargained for, or they're going to close the road or something, or you suspect that they will, go to a rest area like this one, because at least you'll have some shelter with heat, most likely. Certainly better than just being outside or sitting in your car getting buried in the snow waiting for the gas to run out so you don't have heat. Yeah, don't do that. This is a much better option. By the way, I'm not trapped. I'm about to go get back on the road right now. I'm not trapped. I'd never get myself trapped. It turns out that increasing elevation and following the storm really does lead to worse conditions. It's been quite a ride. Quite a white-knuckle ride. But we've managed to make it through the snowfall. But now we have to deal with blowing snow. Fortunately, the wind isn't blowing so bad right here, right now. Normally, it's pretty bad going through Wyoming. But, yeah, it's about 13 degrees out here now, which, again, isn't too bad. I guess we haven't quite gotten into full-on winter weather yet. Well, I mean, you're probably looking around at all the snow thinking, what are you talking about? It gets much, much worse over here. So we're in luck. We made it this far. We're probably going to be just fine getting through. I have no doubt that we will not be stuck. So the driving continues. I would never get stuck. Indeed, the driving continues despite darkness, very heavy snowfall, and a road better suited for a sleigh. Despite the deteriorating roads, we pressed on. Eventually, we took refuge at the summit rest area. Well, we hit some of that winter weather. More of it anyway. More than what you saw. The blowing snow, all of that. Apparently it's not supposed to stop until about 11 a.m. It's coming down pretty hard. So we have been forced to stop here at this rest area. I'm not going to call it stuck because, hey, I'm not getting stuck in here. Kind of a neat rest area. I've been here before, passed it numerous times. It's got a giant Lincoln head. It looks like something that somebody pulled out of a penny or something like that. But yeah, until it's a little bit clearer, I guess we're here. Because here at the summit rest area, you can see the weather is a little crazy. Hopefully you can actually hear me through this wind. But hey, at least we've got this giant Lincoln head to look at, right? I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if I'm on the trail or off the trail or what I'm walking on. But, by the way, it's also 6 degrees out here, which is really cold. I probably shouldn't be walking around in this.
Despite the continuing snowfall, the all clear was given to move on. So we jumped back in the car and made our way to the truck stop for some liquid energy. There is still a long haul ahead with plenty of hazards to safely navigate, but daylight is on its way, and that means temperatures should improve somewhat. There we have it, all clear, except for the black ice.
It is cold out here, and hopefully you can hear me through the wind. But it is good to be out of that snowstorm. That was pretty wild. There's still snow here, but it's not blowing around and it's not coming down, so it's good to be able to see as I'm driving down the road. Not getting stuck here.
Not getting stuck, but part of the freeway was again closed, so that meant a detour over a dirt road before finally getting back up to freeway speeds.
Managed to reach Missouri. So far, so good. Nothing is falling apart. No getting stuck, sort of. The wind is really blowing. There's not snow on the ground, but my gosh, is it cold. That is some cold wind. Anyway. So far, so good. Not getting stuck here.
I lived in Missouri for a bit as a kid. It gets extremely cold. I'm talking temperatures low enough that going outside feels like being slapped in the face. Better keep moving.
Still in Missouri. Still haven't quite gone out of this windy state. Try and get out of the wind. Nope, that's not working. Either way, I'm starting to hear about all this news that I've missed since I've been gone. It's crazy out there. All the crazy stuff. Boy, I can't wait to get back to actually talk to people about this. It's just nuts. So much going on.
Let's face it. The news these days is non-stop crazy. What would I do if not for all of that crazy news? Oh, and don't stop in either Kansas City or St. Louis unless you have a local to advise you on safer parts to see. The Arch is amazing, but you know things have gotten bad when Love's Travel Stop has a security gate.
Kentucky in daylight. making progress now.
Kentucky means we are on the home stretch. It wasn't long before we were in familiar territory and then safely onto country roads to take us home. Home again at last. That was quite a ride. Let me tell you, if you ever have to go up over Wyoming or any of those states when there's a snowstorm, probably think twice. Maybe consider waiting a few days or something like that, because in the end, despite pushing through, it took us just as much time as it probably would have if we had simply waited for the storms to pass. It took so long to drive those roads that, well, there you have it. But hey, safely home. What can I say? I'll see you guys in the next one.
ไฟพะวงหลงเฝ้าสาวเจ้าบางประกงทางไว้งงหลงเกิน